I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling great. I'm excited to get to it. Are we zowing? Are you ready to zo?
I
Let's
am a
zo.
ready person in the readiest universe.
Here's a crazy thing. We talked about this, and everyone agrees that it's pronounced zo, but we thought that we like zao better, so we might just do that.
Can I just put out there that Zhao is cooler?
Where do we
What is the
start?
chapter that we started on? I can't remember.
802 was the first chapter. 824 was the final. Yeah, did you think that Zhao was Jaya level worthy of analysis as a starting question? My instinct is to say no. What do you feel?
No, but yes, but no.
It's worth a lot of analysis, but like that introduced the leaders of the world and the hints of the emperors existing, and so many different things were introduced in Jaya.
Yeah. And also, okay, well, I couldn't possibly put all of my analysis time in because I don't know if you heard this. I've been driving back and forth to a hospital.
You have been a hospital that's like 45, 50 minutes away from you.
Yeah. But on the other hand, I was looking at it and thinking to myself, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here, and I'm sure there's stuff that I'm not picking up on, but it's not Jaya. Jaya was wild. I think that when Oda made Jaya, that afterwards he was like, what the fuck was I thinking? I gave away so much stuff in there.
Yep, the vast majority of people didn't get nearly as much as you did.
Yeah, but he put it in.
Yes,
And
it was there.
And I think that he realized that he was like, oh, damn, I've given away a lot of crap. I think in the beginning, he was putting in like 5, 6 giant giveaways in an arc. Like I was finding things all over the place. And I think that later he's like, I have to be a lot more careful with how I troll this shit out. So
I mean, later there's a lot more eyes on it, but yeah, you definitely observed a lot in the early bits of One Piece.
yeah. Also, though, I had more time. So
Yeah, that's true.
I actually wonder if I need to like just be like, I don't know, do we do them less often and I put in more? I don't know. Because you know how I'm not a half-asser, so it pisses me off.
I mean, we could do them less often, but honestly, the way you've been reading hasn't been like a way where having more time with more time with it would help you, because you're kind of only having the time to like last minute binge it, and you can't really do that for research.
No, God, no. I was done Wednesday this week.
Lemon did not read ahead, I think, because like
Nope, lies.
there's a
I
lot
did.
going on. Oh, you did?
Nope. I read ahead. Yeah.
Oh shit! How far are you getting to the next arc?
Well, an alligator just tried to eat some of my straw hat friends in a
Oh
forest.
damn! You're making some distance, which means you've seen personally. Now, personally, you disagree and think the Zoe outfit's better, but you've seen my favorite Nami outfit.
Yeah, I know you think that, but I freaking
It's so
love.
cute.
Oh, she's adorable. She's adorable.
Can we agree that like those are the top two though? Because I do think those are the top two.
Okay, I would agree that, yeah, no, I would 100% agree that out of her outfits, the little tiny German outfit, I mean, I also wanted to punch Brooke in the head with his like lay on the ground and look up her skirt, but
Mhm.
the little German outfit, adorable. But the one in Zhao and Zoe was so elegant. Like it was sexy as shit, but elegant.
It's elegant. It really is. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a slutty dress, but it's the kind of slutty dress that like a high society socialite wears, not the type that like a man who captures a woman and forces her to dress sexy puts her in.
I think the difference between them is it felt like a choice. It felt like a
Yes.
woman who was living in her own sexuality, didn't give a shit what anyone else thought, and just was owning it in
Yeah.
elegance.
No, like this stretch for outfit design is fucking wild, because you've seen, if you're that far, you've seen cuts of Sanji with his family in that fucking crazy half cape.
Yeah.
Like the outfits in this stretch of story go so hard. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
they are pretty incredible. And speaking of outfits and hairstyles, I think that everyone who is upset about Frankie's hair needs to just take them outside. They need to take themselves outside, go for a walk in a forest, cry it out, and be the fuck done. Because watching his hair turn into that goddamn whale, I was like, no, his hair needs to change. This is delightful. I am
so good. The whale is great.
Frankie hair change all the way. I need everyone else to realize that it has now become part of the frickin' story. The narrative is enriched by his ridiculous hair. I am here for it. High fives all around. Wear that hair.
Okay, but yeah, so we agree This era of One Piece is fucking peak drip.
Yeah, every single one of the frickin' Straw Hats, I was like, damn. When Nami actually got down off the fluffy thing and walked, I was like, okay, Nami, like, go off. I can't even hate your brilliance right now. Shrine girl.
Do we actually get into Zo?
Dare you? I'm into Zo. I'm full Nami talk. Yeah, I'm reading this little story. You might have heard about it. It's
Oh, One Piece?
How did you know I was gonna say that? How cool is something though that when you show up to it, do I have to talk about the simps for the Straw Hats again? Like,
yeah,
I read it
do.
on
You have to briefly talk about those simps because we watched it on stream, but people watching the video weren't there for that.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk about it with them.
Well, no, because the video people don't get us reading the next part, so they don't know what you're talking about.
Damn. I to remember when I was reading this, it was interesting because how many times in One Piece do we meet people who go out into the ocean and they actually tell their own stories as people who decided they were going to be pirates or adventurers or whatever. And we meet some of them who are the minks too later on, who say they go out into the ocean and it turns out, yeah, the ocean actually wasn't for them. They thought it was going to be this whole great adventure thing, but they didn't think about all the learning curve involved in the ocean or all the different things that they were going to have to take care of or learn or do or fight or whatever it is. And we keep meeting these people. Whoa, what are you doing? Did you take a bag of chips and put it on your mic?
I'm feeding the dog a treat, so that might have been picked up a little.
So it was really interesting to see these guys because it did two things for me. Their inability to sail around and understand the ocean or even have a freaking navigator makes you realize why so many people are saying to Luffy and the crew, you think you're ready for this? You have no idea what's ahead of you. Which made me think about how compelling it is that Luffy and the Straw Hats have this ability to admit, and I think this is something that's unique, when they aren't good enough. Like Luffy will run into all shit head first, but Luffy and all of the Straw Hats have this ability to be like, we're not ready. It's time to level up. And they keep leveling themselves and training themselves and leveling themselves. And that's the difference between the people who don't make it and the people who do make it in life. And it's just kind of this basic lesson that Oda's chucking in for free behind the scenes, saying like, look, you'll notice that the difference between all these people who suck and aren't going to make it in the new world and Luffy is that whenever they become aware that they're outmatched, they regroup, they train, they look for ways around it to get better. Because when we come in here and we see our simps on their little happy Luffy boat and things start to fall and hail is breaking things and they use it to take gum off the deck and they're trying to fight against things and they're talking to the grandma who later on in the SBS was absolutely a wildly old woman. You're just thinking like, no wonder so many people said to Luffy and the crew, like, you're not ready and you'll die. You have no idea what it's like out here. I just want to take all of them off the ocean and put them in a pirate training course. We need to. And so I loved it for that. But on the other hand, I was just like massively disturbed by it because they suck as pirates and as people who are trying to survive in the world. Oh yeah, right. Oh, God, this guy.
Which guy?
I know that it is the famous actor whose Japanese name I do not remember for Kizaru, but I'm telling you, as long as I live, he's going to be Justin Timberlake to me. So off we go. We meet Justin Timberlake, and Justin Timberlake is at the Marine HQ headquarters. He goes by another name in this because he's an undercover Justin Timberlake. He goes by Kizaru Borsellino. And he is talking about all the most important things about how suddenly all of Whitebeard's captains are going down. You know who hasn't gone down yet, though? That's right. A pineapple named Marco. That guy's still kicking around, but maybe not for long because we find out about this dude. He is what we in the business call an odd fella. And he's decided that he is definitely the son of Whitebeard. Kind of possible if you take a look at his mustache. Off we go and we meet his mom, who, damn, this woman is smoked. Like, she has smoked her way through life. Miss Buchan, If there is one thing I know about Miss Buchan, it's that she is a heavy 4-pack a day smoker, because those wrinkles are all pinchy smoke lines. And she assures him very, very lovingly and a little bossily that he is definitely the son of Whitebeard. I got to tell you, if he is the son of Whitebeard, I mean, he's a little more bowling bally than Whitebeard, but if he is the son of Whitebeard, that does make things very interesting. Except for, would Whitebeard like you killing all his ex people? No.
Probably not. I mean,
Like-
he's round, but he is like as big as him and apparently just so impossibly strong that his bounty was like Luffy levels of big when it got frozen just from going around killing people with strength alone.
I'm not disagreeing that he has some resemblance and strength.
Mm.
I'm just saying it's a bit upsetting that he's such a, you know what he is? He's a Timbit, which is the part of the donut that makes a hole. So he's a donut hole. He's a dumbass. Okay. When they get to the elephant, there's no words. Like, as a fan of One Piece and as a person who's come into it later in life, I always think, and I've said this to you time and again, I'm like, okay, I know the edges of the weird. So now things are less surprising, and that's never true. What a unique ability of a writer to completely surprise you at every turn. Because this elephant, when I saw that there was a whole ass city on top of this elephant, my brain was like, oh, god damn it. I am so happy right now. You have played into the famous Indian legend of the giant elephant with the city on his back. So for those of you who don't know, Gajendra Moksha is, and I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but he is a very, very famous elephant in India. There's legends and there's a whole story thing that goes with it. And he walks around with the city on his back. They don't talk about the people on his back very much, unlike in this one. It's mostly just about the elephant himself. But he is known to be an elephant that has some divinity. So I thought this was pretty cool because obviously this elephant here, in my opinion, is part and parcel of one of our ancient weapons.
Mm-hmm. Holy shit, someone just brought up something really cool. Big Mom, you believe, represents the black tortoise of the South, right? I think
Yes.
it's South?
Yes.
The legend of the tortoise that the world is on suspended by an elephant. We get into Big Mom and Big Mom's crew at the same time as we're introduced to the elephant of myth who holds a city on its back. There's something in there. Ratchet Stick, Discworld, that's where it is. Discworld is elephants and tortoise. That's actually very cool.
So if Zhao is one of the weapons,
which you believe it may be.
I believe that he is one of the weapons because I think the weapons are attached to a person. So like, no, the ark is attached to the scaredy cat mermaid and the underwater ancient sea fish, etc., etc.
Mhm.
So that maybe Momo is attached to this elephant. And then because the elephant is also moving, then this would be both the ancient creature and the vehicle of destruction. I don't know.
Yeah, you were on the phone mulling over the idea that this could be the creature in the vehicle, or it could be the creature related to Pluton, because it's in the ocean, and that's a theory I've heard people talk about as well. There's space in there for sure.
I think it would more be because I think that Luffy would probably be Uranus.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like Pluton's more likely because then Momo can be attached to Pluton and you can save Luffy for Uranus.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Yeah, that works.
Zounesha doesn't fly, but he is literally above the clouds. I think there's an argument for Uranus for sure.
That's what I keep thinking. Like, if he's above the clouds and it's a city above the clouds, I don't know why it can't. So it just feels that way. And
I just had a theory.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go first, and then I'll get back to this.
Well, when you think about the fact that he's been punished in the past, the thing has been around for over 1,000 years, and he did something very bad, or he's punished by somebody. You have to start to wonder, like, why is a creature like this allowed to live and isn't just murdered? So it talks about how they need to have it around, right? Like if he had done something very bad and people were looking for control, Pluton could be a ship too. Like it can be attached to that. I'm not saying it isn't.
Mm.
But it feels like there's something here because if he has done something that is super, super bad, and he's not murdered, why not? It doesn't make sense. It's kind of like the whole Sanji wanted alive only. Because if a creature like this had done something bad and I wanted to control it, instead I might just be like, no, just kill it. Then I don't have to worry that it's going to do that thing. But if I attach it and make it have to have permission in order to have any actions, I would only do that because it was important enough that it lived.
Yeah. I agree that like Pluton being a ship, sure, whatever. Hear me out on this. The Noah's a ship, right?
Yeah.
Shirahoshi's in theory Poseidon, and the Sea Kings are her power.
Yeah.
Zounesha only moves at Momo's command. Momo, just like Luffy, who could hear the Sea Kings, can hear Zounesha.
Yeah.
Luffy could hear the things that Shirahoshi commanded. It kind of feels like it'd be weird for the ancient weapons to be like one's a ship, another one's a girl. I really like Mama's theory from way back in the day. Originally, your theory in Skypiea was that the ancient weapons could be both a vehicle, both an object and a person.
And then I said
now,
they're connected
Mhm.
and they have to be a number of things.
Yeah, a creature, a vehicle, and a person, and that would explain how one can be a vehicle and one can be a girl. Is if Noah is also involved in Poseidon, then that's all three, and somehow the Pluton could be connected to Momo and Zounesha.
And so the reason that I also think that, and it's funny, thank you for re-clarifying that, because sometimes I talk as if everybody has been here with us the entire time, which isn't always true. And the reason that I also think that is I was just saying in a practical way, like my websites, computers, everything that I use in the world has like 2 or 3 part authentication. So you're telling me that a world destroying weapon is just one thing? It's just this boat, and if any old jackass hops on it, boom, world destroying powder's activated. Like that's fucking ridiculous. Excuse my French. So instead of that, if it has to be a few things put together and together they create the weapon, then that's a checks and balance and safety feature in place. And if you don't have that and it's just the one thing, well, then that's an absolutely asinine weapon that makes no sense to me.
Oh, someone's saying that apparently the buildings on Zao are based off of Peru. They do look very Incan now that I'm thinking about it. I never noticed that before somehow.
Yeah, they do. But they also kind of have a little edge of Indian in them.
I agree. I think there's a little bit of Indian inspiration too. They don't feel like singular cultural the way that you kind of got. I guess it's not even singular cultural for Dressrosa because there was a bit of Spain and a bit of Greece and a bit of Rome. It felt like kind of multi-Mediterranean.
I think it was more Rome than Greece because Oda did come
More
back in
Rome
an
than
essay
Greece, yeah.
and he said, no, because I said, this doesn't make any sense. Like, yes, there, of course, there are some
Oh,
Colosseum type things.
apparently it's largely based off of Peru, based on real buildings, which Sam Fisher is pointing out is interesting because that would also mix with the Aztec inspiration for Skypiea. What I find kind of neat about that is it was Mayans, not Aztecs, who had a method of farming that involved water, involved like these canals running through all of their buildings, which feels way more like Zao. So I don't think this is just one Mesoamerican culture, if that is the case, but could be closer to Inca than the Maya.
I think it's okay for it to be a few different things. Like, I looked up and tried to see if there were many other people who had like an elephant city kind of thing. It seems to be mostly just Indian, but I think that Oda is not afraid to take a bunch of different things and smash them together. People.
The Incas were high elevation, just like the Minks at Zao. That is true.
I have to leave this page. I was looking at your drawing for a minute, and then I saw someone that said, "Mama, do you like the minks?" Come on now, you've met me. They're animals, and they talk.
Someone Someone just pointed out also that the Maya had architecture that drained water and could withstand earthquakes, which also feels very fitting for Zhao. So I think there's some general Mesoamerican inspiration. There feels like a bit of Maya in with the Inca here.
It also just feels like a treasure site, right? Like if you think of different movies and different things like Raiders of the Lost Ark, which would have been within Oda's time frame, is a thing that he probably would have had obsessions over and stuff too. It feels like the type of place that they would have come in like in a Crystal Skull moment to find treasure. And in this case, there was the treasure of the Red Poneglyph and a treasure of it. We can't get there.
The treasure of the friends we made along the way.
No, we're not going to talk about the friends we made along the way, only the enemies. Here we go. In the friends in low places. That elephant has been alive for an entire millennium. I really did think the elephant was eyeless at first, and it made me upset.
He just got sunken sad eyes.
Turned out, elephant has the eyeballs. When they were deciding how to get up there, and then they send their friends away, and they try to receive the remaining 4 autographs, and fresh from the pens of gods. Oh my god. I still love him, don't get me wrong, but he simped hard.
Yeah, Boa, people are like, who simps harder? Boa keeps her shit together. She still has her agenda and life in mind when she's near Luffy. Bardo ceases to exist as an individual.
It upsets me that anyone would dare compare Boa and say that she simps harder than Bardo. First of all, Bardo is simping for the entire Straw Hats, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy. I really enjoy that he shares the love. But Boa like runs her nation and talks to her advisors, and it feels like all Bardo does is just like, oh my god, I'll never wash this hand again. And you know that that's a dangerous precedent to start. I'm looking at you, Vanderdecken. So it's very, very nerve-wracking. His love is a little obsessive. Oh, okay. Let's have a
I just
moment.
want to say there's a best ruler pull, and we're really out here comparing Garfield to some dog. I don't know.
Who's the dog? I'm not on there.
They're just comparing Duke Dogstorm and Nekomamushi Cat Viper, and I'm like, one's Garfield and one's just like a dog. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Garfield over a dog.
I do say I do love them both. But when Cat Viper is in a bathtub telling me how much he likes to eat lasagna, my entire childhood heart almost burst with joy. I was like, okay, I can't. I love this. I love this cat more than I can tell you now. Him sitting in a tub with his stupid band-aids off, pawless, and eating. My little heart. I can't even. I love this dragon so much. And it breaks my little heart in half that after he strives and carries them all up the leg of the elephant, that he just falls into a picture. I didn't care about any of his other things. But this dragon, this poorly bullshit drawn dragon with the tiny legs, like he gave him Triceratops frickin' arms. So this beautiful little pink dragon with Triceratops arms, not even. Triceratops arms at least are strong looking. These are 2 spindly sticks with big flat paws on the end. Oh, dragon. And yet he puts his tiny body, his ridiculously skinny dragon body on that elephant, and he goes to head for his purpose to the top of the mysterious island of Zou. And he sweats when he's literally 50 meters away from the boats. That poor bastard is already sweating. You know what? In case you haven't read this, guys, spoiler alert, he dies.
He completes his purpose, is what happens.
Is that what we're calling death now? The completion of a purpose?
When you're a drawing designed to climb up an elephant, maybe.
Don't even. You know what, though? We're still talking about him, so there you go.
He's not forgotten.
A dragon only dies when it's forgotten. Speaking of dragons, the back-to-back dragon, which I liked here. We see this dragon working so hard to bring them up, and then we toss ourselves back into Monkey D. Dragon, who, I don't know if you've heard this, guys, but he's a Revolutionary Army commander-in-chief and also the father of our great known Luffy.
Does he do anything?
He gets attacked. Yeah. It's not as good as you'd hope. I know you were hoping for something better. but he gets attacked. And the reports are like things are going bad, people are coming here. Um, but they talk about the fact that it seems the report was that she was captured at Sabaody was total fabrication. Of course, Robin was lively and well. I like and don't like that Luffy doesn't really give a shit about his dad. His dad doesn't give enough shits about him, but he's really into Robin. So it tells you that it's less about the nurturing and more about the fact that Robin is a freaking gigantic world treasure. It is going to be absolutely butt ass wild when we come down to things and people are all trying to steal Robin. And Robin, like, for sure, I just want to put out there that at some point Robin is going to be kidnapped. And
We've already had Robin kidnapped, so I don't feel like we need it. Sorry, keep going.
it's going to happen again because this time it's going to be people who are looking to kidnap Robin, not to kill her, but to actually use the poneglyphs and to have her translate. Because think about how many people are attempting to, like Mama says later on. Big Mom says that, you know, oh, it's just nice to have them. The poneglyphs are a great treasure. There's not really a lot I can do with them because I can't read. I don't know how many people are aware of Robin's ability to read the poneglyph, but there is no way that Robin isn't going to be stolen and tossed around this. Yeah, it's definitely a prediction and tossed around the One Piece world because there's going to be so many people who are trying to use her to read Poneglyph.
My take has always been that people need to come after her, but she doesn't need to be stolen again because we've been through that. But it's got to be a pressure at the very least that causes conflict that people are going to want to steal her. But I think most people who are higher up in the world would know because, like, you know, how does Big Mom know that the road poneglyphs exist? Well, because if you're a big player in this world, you have access to information. And Crocodile was able to find out about Robin's ability. So I think big players in the world, like Big Mom and Kaido, probably do know because they probably know a lot of shit.
But didn't we already, wasn't it canon to the story that it was Robin who came to Crocodile and told her about her abilities? Or was Crocodile connected enough to the original time when Robin
Don't
was.
think we know, but I think someone with enough information would just know that like Ohara scholars knew how to read it. So if anyone does, it's probably the Ohara survivor.
I was under the impression that Robin told her that I had
Okay,
thought that
Robin, people are saying they agree with you. Either way, I think people who are really in the loop could just know because, like, yeah,
regardless of Robin's strength, regardless of Robin's protection, I think that we're going to have some sort of a thing. I really do. I think she has to be
yeah.
stolen. I think we have to
My
rescue her.
my take is I don't think it's necessary, but I think it needs to cause conflict. And the reason I think your argument should be plot based, not like, but she wouldn't let that happen. Guys, Robin's very strong. We all know that. Let's say Don Quixote Doflamingo made it his goal to steal Robin, and that was all he cared about. She's not strong enough to stop that, and that's nowhere near the biggest threat we're up against. Let's say fucking Big Mom just decided, you know what I want to do more than literally anything else? Steal Robin. Do you think there's a world where Robin stops that from happening if that was all she was trying to do? There are people stronger than Robin. I don't think Robin is strong now can be like a reason she can't be stolen again, because there are people stronger than Robin.
I think that she's going to be taken. And I think that it's going to be in a very unique way. I was trying to think about like who else would be
Oh,
going, who would want to be taking.
Should we save that and you talk about your pushing story because we just hit an ad break?
Are we in an ad break?
We're in an ad break. We just hit an ad break.
So here we have a man who's just not caring about his son enough, but Luffy, in his defense, also doesn't care about his dad enough, and he's all about Robin. And so the fact that he's all about Robin and he's already thinking about the value that she brings, obviously because of the Ponteglyph, we know that if he is aware of what a dangerous, amazing resource she is, I am wondering, hear me out, if the reason that Luffy is going to have to work with his dad to regain Robin.
Okay. So Robin will get kidnapped at some point and Luffy will need Monkey D. Dragon's help to get her back.
It just seems like the perfect opportunity. If I was writing a manga, I would say to myself, like, let's take somebody who's super invested in Robin and understands exactly how valuable she is and how incredible what she can do is, and the only one in the world. And then let's have them work with the people who love her the most to save her. That would be amazing. That would be, if I was writing it, I would write that. Is she and also, is Robin gonna train Momo? Wait, no, wait.
Wait,
Someone else
no?
knows how to read Ponteglyph. Who was
What?
it? Was it Momo's dad?
Momo's dad knew how, but yeah.
So there were two people, but that dude is like actual dead.
As far as what everyone's talking about, it really seems as though he's dead as fuck.
But is Odin actually dead if you said it like that?
I just don't want to confirm anything because you asked if he's actually dead and you haven't like seen a flashback with his death. What I'm saying is you don't have 100% confirmation. As far as you know, absolute dead as doornails.
So if he did know how to read the Ponteglyph, are we assuming that it's like kind of like wayfarers back in the day who would teach each other how to travel the ocean and read the scent of the air and the sound and the taste of the salt in the water, et cetera, and that you're only allowed to have 1 to 2 people understand how to read Ponteglyph at a time?
I
Or are we
mean,
assuming that
all
the
of
person,
Ohara, the scholars knew how, like every one of them.
that's what I thought, but they're dead, 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 and more
They're
dead.
dead as fuck.
That is a very heart-wrenching story. I hate it when things like that happen to lovely people.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Funny elephant. Yeah.
Back to the elephant.
This elephant's
No,
not funny. This elephant gets shot.
you know when we saw Burgess get on the beach and we know where he is and he does the thing and then he calls everyone off to attack Dragon?
Yes.
In that time, I looked at it and was like, God damn it. I hate Blackbeard so much.
Yep.
Every time I turn around, that little bitch is up in everybody's business.
He's just doing shit. I also love that him doing shit here has literally no beef with the revolutionaries, but he's like, they own weapons and I want weapons. Let's kill them.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But they're not wrong, because if you're trying to find weaponry, that's probably one of the very best places to do it at the time.
Oh yeah, the Revolutionary Army is going around handing weapons to townsfolk all over the world. They have way more weapons than they can use or protect. Like, literally, if you're going to steal weapons, if that's your goal, what a great target.
I also like that we found out where Buggy was, that he set up a world that looked just like Foxy's world, as if Foxy was doing his little games. But he really has come back into himself. There is no moment apparently where Buggy said to himself, maybe I'm going to learn a lesson and be a little less of a shit. Instead, he was like, no, I'm going to beef this up. I'm going to become Buggy, the chairman warlord of the sea, the genius jester. All right. Go, little dragon, go. And then the dragon died. And that's all I have to say about that.
I love Robin putting a flower on its grave, everyone mourning it, and then Law and Zoro being like,
This is dumb. It's just a crappy drawing.
It made me really upset actually, because they all cheered the dragon on and they all agreed that the dragon was absolutely nailing it. Robin thought it was so cute. She wasn't wrong. You can do it, says Robin. She has tears in her eyes. She's so proud of this frickin' dragon. And then they can't even take a moment. It's crying at the end. Literally. Ryonosuke is crying as it pushes up over the end because it just tries so hard, and then it grins, the greatest little, like, I feel so very, very proud of myself grin. And then Robin says, you're going to turn back into a drawing now, and it gives her a smile, and then immediately starts to evaporate, and they're like, don't go. And then a bunch of people are like, ugh, how does he make you love a drawing of a dragon that disappears so much? Well, he says to himself, in the setting sun, why don't I put a vision of him as he evaporates into nothingness? He just has such a brilliant way of making you care about what he wants you to care about. Anyways, I think Robin was right. Everyone else was a shithead. The end. That's the end of that story. Do we find out if Carrot has eaten a devil fruit?
look, I'll just tell you, no devil fruit. Carrot au natural.
So all the minks have an ability to have an electrical charge in them?
Yep.
If you're a mink, you're electrically charged.
You can do little zippy zaps. That's true.
Well, I'll be a horse's nephew. That's powerful. I want some of that. Also, Carrot's jumps She got hops. She make the NBA, no problem.
Carrot got hops, Carrot got eyes.
Yeah.
And thus begins immediate speculation that Carrot needs to be the Straw Hat's lookout.
Oh.
It started right about here. It was a very popular topic conversation. I'm not going to tell if it happens or it doesn't happen, but it was so discussed that if I'm telling you the context of this era of One Piece, it can't go unmentioned.
I'm not gonna lie. I've come to the point that I don't believe we're gonna get another female crew member, because Jinbei is in the process of begging to be on the ship, and then that would be the number that Luffy said he needed. And so now I'm like,
well, unless Luffy himself doesn't count, then we'd be one short.
Okay, well, hope springs eternal in the heart of the human breast, but I'm not hoping that big. I would love Carrot to be on our ship. Do not get me wrong. This chick, way cool. Her fluffy tail, the fluffiest. But I'm starting to feel like no. I love how fast the fat alligator can run too. So,
all right, where are we at in the story? What part are we? What zone are we in?
Why the whale in the whale forest is a whale?
No,
It just be a whale,
it's just a whale, dude.
and we don't ever get told why it be a whale.
As far as I can remember, it's just a whale. Like, that's literally it. Like, the reason is because it's a whale.
I'm a little sassy about that. I'm a little salty. I'm a little wish upon a star that we got a bit of a whale tail.
Okay.
Finding out that when they came up there, that the place on top of Zoe, after we did all of the work to get to Zoe, after we found out that nobody knew where Zoe was, it was supposed to be this great secret. The group of minks were supposed to hate all humans. I love minks. I hug minks. I cuddle their faces. I pet their heads. But after we find all this shit out to get there and have the place have been ravaged and destroyed and every person covered in band-aids, was really not a phenomenal way to run into Zoe.
But I think it's also part of what Oda does so well of hyping up the emperors. They feel so big and unstoppable because, like, no one's supposed to be able to get here, and it was fucking no difficulty for Kaido. Like, his troops got up here just as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I'm not a fan of Kaido already.
Yeah? You don't think he's a great dude?
Only in the way that I don't like him. Oh god, it's so good to see Beppo again. Ugh, love me some frickin' Beppo. Love finding out he's a mink, because remember before when I was like, why bear and top?
You did regularly ask that, yes.
So it was nice to have that all fixed up again. And it's interesting how, for some reason, the minks don't count as being animals, but except for with what's his face, who was all prejudiced against him. But so we're watching this, and we find out all about the attacks and what went on and how crazy it was. And we go through, I don't know, what, about 50 million chapters of healing people and meeting the awesome Viper and having the elephant spew water all over the back. That was a really clever thing, by the way. I liked how that was done, because I often think one of the greatest things about living in the Pacific Northwest is our trees and our buildings aren't dirty because they're constantly washed by the sky. So it had that same feeling. And then to have all this and to find out that they were like being attacked only for the purpose of not knowing who this person was, and they're saying like, why are you attacking us? This makes no sense. We don't know who you're talking about. This is absolutely insane. And you're like, oh, leave them alone, you freaking bastards. They don't know this guy, and you're just attacking innocent human beings. You cut off a paw, cut off a leg, you rat bastards. And you're just like, you're devastated on behalf of them, and you're like, they're just simple, sweet animals who were lying the entire time and actually knew the dude was and protect.
It's so good.
What? On top of what? My mind was absolutely melted by that.
It's so fucking crazy as a reveal.
It is one of my favorite freaking reveals I've ever seen. It's so outside of any kind of trope. It was delicious because I haven't seen, I can't think of a time that I've seen in a narrative something that was hidden from us in such an incredible way, and then boom, right at the end we're revealed that they have been hiding the truth the entire time, and it turns out that they were actually protecting this person.
And also suddenly makes Jack go it suddenly makes Jack go from like the world's shittiest dude to the world's most loyal henchman. Like, this is a henchman who just fucking commits to orders like nothing else.
Yeah, he really did actually.
He's still shitty, but it goes from he's an unnecessary torturer who's just killing them for the sake of it and has nothing to gain, to like, oh, he was actually right about what he was looking for and is just very, very committed. Like, evil bastard, but he like
made it because he knew there was more to it.
Yeah, he was an evil bastard because he's like, no, I don't believe you. Accurately did not believe them. I think it does change a bit about how I perceive Jack. Still a bastard, but like not a bastard just for the sake of it. A bastard who's very, very committed to doing work for his master.
I got to tell you, before I forget to mention it, like, you know who had one of the very best outfits when they went on Zoe?
Who's that?
Sanji.
Yeah, dude, this is peak drip era. Like, I think Dressrosa's only peak fit for me is Robin, and the rest were okay. However, the second we hit Zoe onwards, god damn the drip. Like, everybody looks so good.
Sanji's beyond, though.
Yep.
His outfit, his leather jacket, his wicked shirt, gold pants, even his hairstyle.
All right. Someone said that no one mentions that the Emerald City from Jaya is a Wizard of Oz reference. We didn't, but I feel like it just feels too obvious to have wanted to mention.
But it's interesting because it's the same way that people get really upset that I don't always talk about how there's the Chinese story of the Monkey King. And I'm like, because I just felt like it's just too common. Like, I'm not bringing it up. It's like talking about how the cat is Garfield. We all agree the cat is Garfield.
We did talk about that though, and the cat is Garfield.
To be fair, in this situation, it's because he's cute. Sometimes I just feel like I want to be in charge of Law's powers a little bit.
What did he not do?
I like that's the question that you ask. I think you know what he didn't do.
What did he not do?
Why didn't he give the Viper Garfield back his goddamn paw, or the king
because he
dog?
can't give him his paw. He could just give him a different paw. But it is wild how often he doesn't help amputee victims.
Give him something.
Like you could do that, right, bud? Like, I guess because they need a donor. Wouldn't that be funny? Like, hey, Momo, yeah, can you ask Zounesha to like pick up one of those boats? Yeah, and they just pick it up, and he's like, all right, this guy looks about your size, steals limbs from Kaido's crew.
Okay, see? You've only been here for 2 seconds thinking about this, and you already have an amazing plan.
Yeah, no, it's... Actually, that would work. That is funny.
I like that the method of moving around here is big fat crocodiles, because they keep getting all the salt water put on them, so it's a nice detail.
Oh, that is cute.
Yeah, because at first I was like, why are we doing this? And then I was like, yeah, well, if you have salt water spewing out all the time, this is actually the perfect little vessel for us.
Yeah, they can march around, but then they're also functional when it's all snowy time.
I'm starting to like Pom Pom.
Pet the boy and give him a treat? You're liking Pom Pom? What's that?
Yeah, I'm starting to like Pom Pom. I didn't expect it because I wasn't super thrilled with the direction that Pom Pom was going.
Who's Pom Pom? Why don't I remember this?
What do you mean, who's Pom Pom? Pom Pom is Pom Pom.
Guys, who's Pom Pom?
That's the nickname I... Pardon? Yeah.
You have to understand that's not what you said, right?
That's the name I've given him. That's who I am.
Okay. So we're coming around on Pecoms. You know who's not coming around on Pecoms?
Have you and I met? I'm Mama Drock. Luffy and I agree on one thing, and that is that names are temporal and you can change them whenever you feel like it.
Do you know who's not a fan of Pecoms?
Whom?
Capone Gang Beji.
I can't believe he shot him in the back like a cowardice piece of crap. Who does that? Who shoots a person in the back? Okay, but first of all, I love me some Pom Pom. He's adorable and he's growing on me. And Beji, by shooting him in the damn back, was really like, oh, I don't know what to tell you, I'm a mobster. But having said that, watching the dudes, because I didn't get to see the dudes jump out of him last time and then go full size.
Yep.
I only got to watch them jump out of him and be a small army. Watching them jump out as full size, the castle fruit grew for me. You know what? It was a little bit like the Grinch. My heart grew 10 sizes towards the castle fruit.
It's a pretty sick fruit, honestly.
He can also like put a piece of himself in himself, because he sat at the table inside of his own castle.
Yep.
And had a negotiation.
Yep.
An amazing fruit.
It's a very cool devil fruit.
Yeah. It's high up on the list of things. And you're never alone, Drock. Hear me out.
Your buddies are with you all the time.
You're wandering through the wild and you're like, I'm super cold. You get one of your little dudes to take out like a big ass tenty thing and set it up and live the life and keep your big body fine. And then you all hang out and have a big feast inside of you on much less amounts of food because they're mini, but they're big to you.
But I think they would shrink when they go in your body. So I think you actually do need full-size food going in there.
No, your body needs full-size food, but
No,
your little...
But it shrinks. Things shrink when they go in, so they would shrink down to little size. So
your little body feels satisfied, so you get to have a nice...
but I don't think little body does, because like a cannon goes in and becomes tiny. So I think if you tried to bring a tiny burger, it would become an even tinier burger. I think you need to bring a full-size burger in there.
You bring in a full-size burger and a full-size turkey. I can't believe that I'm an old-ass woman having this argument right now.
Yeah, you would bring like a full-size turkey in there and it would turn into a tiny turkey, because cannons turn into the tiny cannons.
Yeah, but they turn into proportionally, they turn into tiny sizes in proportion to the other things. So I think it would turn into the right size to eat.
Yeah, it would turn into the right size to eat, but it wouldn't like save money. You'd still need to buy like all of the big food ahead of time.
Wait a minute. First of all, you're on the Bellamy can, and
oh, okay.
So, and it's great. But second of all, someone just said, wait a minute, he has tiny people inside of him.
Uh-huh.
How did they not know? Yeah, and those men just freaking live there inside of him. He just is the ultimate in a man's man. He's filled with men. I think it's funny how the dragon I love kind of looks like a Momo. Oh, I'm going to say something, but because I'm going to say it, I want to go back into the thing so I can have people yell at me. Okay, squishies, get ready to be unhappy. Momo pisses me off.
Yeah, no, he pisses off everybody at this point.
I don't like Momo right now.
Yeah, nobody likes Momo right now. When we say you're going to like Momo one day, we don't think it's right now.
He sucks.
Yeah, nobody thinks he doesn't suck right now.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I hate this kid.
Yeah.
And when he first asks Luffy, when they first ask Luffy to help them to get rid of the big old giant person killing himself. What's his name again? Kaido?
Kaido.
I was like, oh, I hate this guy. This guy sucks. And then Luffy was like, no. And I was like, good choice, Luffy. Fuck that kid. That kid sucks. And then I was like, oh, that's not a very nice thing to say. He doesn't mean to suck, and he's only 8 years old, so yeah, I know he's been traumatized, but he sucks. And he thinks everyone should bow down and kiss his little tiny 8-year-old feet. And he does stuff his face into Nami's boobs all the time, and we know he knows. Well, so far, here's how I feel about Kaido.
Yeah, that's your take?
Yeah, that's my take. I want you to know that I put a lot of time, effort, thought into that, and that's what I've come out of it with.
Do you want to know my take on Kaido?
Yeah.
My personal favorite arc villain, and I'm not even joking.
All right. Wow. That's your favorite villain of...
Wow. You've barely seen him, but yeah.
Wow. Okay. And here's my thought on Momo.
I'll explain it when we get there. I'll explain why when we get there.
Here's my thought on Momo. Ready?
Most people like Dofi better. Yeah, you're allowed to feel that way about Momo, for sure.
I don't like him. Holy crap. I'm not allowed to talk about this, so here I go. Mama killed her son.
Yeah, she did. Big Mom did kill her son.
But she had never done that before. So we came to a point where she was so crazy. She killed her son in a hunger thing. Oh my god. She killed her son. And then when she came out of her hunger thing, what's her hunger thing called?
Hunger pangs.
Alrighty then. When she came out, she didn't even be like, "Oh my god, I killed my son," which honestly, I just want you to know, Drock. If I get into some hunger pangs and I'm raging my ass through the world and nothing can stop it but the thing I'm craving, and I steal your soul and throw it to space,
Yeah.
when I then eat the thing and come back, I'm gonna look at your body and go, "How did that happen?" And then I'm gonna find out I did it, and then I'm gonna be upset.
Okay, that's going to be the order of operations.
Yeah.
Look, I genuinely love Big Mom as an antagonist. I'll get into that more when we have more information about her so that I can actually defend that take, because there are a lot of Big Mom haters in this very often incorrect community. Sorry, everybody, you are wrong. We can't get there yet because you technically we're talking about Zoe today, so I can't get into it. But I am a big fan of Big Mom as a character.
She killed her son!
That did happen. Yeah, she's terrible.
All right. I love that the dude who made the drawing of the dragon, by the way, based the dragon off of Momo's dragon. I thought that was pretty cute.
It's a cute little detail.
Where does the stupid gas boy go? They didn't steal him, did they, when they stole Sanji?
They did.
Why did I not notice that?
Why else would he be gone?
I lied to you. I did notice because I saw him in the cage with Sanji. We just don't talk about it much within this arc, but we start to talk about it in the next arc, is why. That's why. You don't find out in this arc that he's like stolen along with him. But then you see him in the cage in Sanji's room, and Sanji is mysteriously whatever. Yeah. Okay. Rob, when we find out that dude was still alive, and when we find the red poneglyph, which is so deliciously beautiful, and I'm here for it all the way. And we find out that the 4 poneglyphs lead to Laugh Town.
As you have been calling it.
Well, if it is following the same rules as Logue Town, then yes.
I mean, that's just a thing you've decided. There's no official name there.
It says it.
Yeah, but like I told you, that one's been translated multiple ways.
Okay. In that case, when we see it and we see the way that the pattern is made and how we have to find each one of the islands to do a crosshair to find the center island for Laugh Town, I couldn't help but notice that Luffy's chest is done because Luffy's chest is done in an X marks the spot. So I think that and it looks similar to the one in Laugh Town. Like it has a great big fire there in the center, so it's thicker in the center than it is on the outsides, and it thins towards the outside. So it's almost like Luffy's scar mimics the finding of Laugh Town. And so Luffy, I think, is going to be part of the key that unlocks what is necessary in Laugh Town, and it's kind of saying that. Yeah.
So Luffy is the key to it.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be something to it that Luffy, because he's special and he has inherited will, is necessary. He is one of the things that will unlock the power. He is the X with his scar, and X marks the spot.
I really do like that. That observation I really like, especially because like whatever is there, we are theorizing in the community, everyone believes is going to be like part of dethroning the world government. Like that's just feels how the story goes. So it's the head of the military marking the threat, marking the pirate treasure that is Luffy with an X, which I think is very cool.
I just love that they are the ones that created the X across him that shows that he is the key. I think it's perfect. I like that the grown-ups all go to the edge to keep track as they're coming up too. Because the feast is taking place, and they're like, us grown-ups need to control things and make sure that the samurai do not get in. And then they're like, us grown-ups need to fall asleep on the cliff and not notice people coming up and screaming, because he did it in screaming, "We have arrived! Indeed, we're here at last!" And they just sleep through that.
I love that. I love Frankie, Robin, and Brooke being like, we're the responsible ones. We can take care. Fucking passed out immediately.
It's so perfect. It's almost like they're like, we're responsible, but also old, and we need to make a bedtime. I don't know what to tell you. It was so perfect. And it was the very first time that they had all and ever called themselves the grown-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really neat to think of them as the grown-up trio, because a lot of people don't see, like, because they're all friends and they're all working together, we often forget that there can be a vast array of ages. Like Brooke is a giantly ancient old man, friends with these people. So it was kind of cool to have that little, like, we are the grown-ups who are also untrustworthy because we passed out. Super cute. Go with yourself, you bad grown-ups. And then to have them be like, nope, we love these guys. So now I'm thinking about all the different things. Let's do the smashy, no smash 'em with the Momo's voices in his head.
Oh, okay. Jack showing back up and being like, "Hey, bitch, get down here, bitch." What's your take on our first billion berry confirmed bounty?
Yeah, first of all, that's a pretty big ass bounty.
He's one of the commanders for an emperor.
Here's the 6 things that I like about him. There's not 6. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
The number one thing I like about him is I love his fruit.
Mammoth
I
fruit's
love
pretty
the
cool.
idea. Yeah, I think the fruit is amazing. I think it's also amazing because he's on an elephant, but he's a mammoth. So even though the elephant is 1,000 years old, there's like this claim to age where he's like, you may be old, bitch, but my fruit is older. And then I oh, I gotta take a picture of this. How did I not think about it before? That tattoo, what is in the center of that tattoo is a sun. What are you protecting is the 4 directions. And then in the center, there is a bird that holds the sun in it. Are you the bird people? Are you the bird people? God damn. Okay, I got a new thing to look up now.
Okay.
So if the center of his tattoo is a sun, talking about how the center of the sun would be the center of the power or thing that is protected with the bird, is the bird then representing of his kingdom? So are they the bird from the directions? And then it looks like a pirate thing that comes out, but it also looks like the 4 directions that I was talking about inside of a
It's a
compass
bird.
rope.
It's the sun. You know?
And so if both of those things are within that tattoo, then their country is responsible for helping to hold the secrets of the missing years. And so then, oh shit, I'm on the edge of something. I got to take this apart. It looks like it's islands that go around it that are also representing the sun. So it's both islands and then a larger island in the middle represented the sun. And it seems like the center circle is going to be like the larger islands that are almost the protectors or the central island to the other ones, but that together they all represent some sort of protection or
It's
sacred
interesting.
bond.
When off stream, you were talking about how you were wondering if Momo's family was responsible for protecting the lost people, and you were trying to figure out why you were leaning towards that.
Yeah, because I kept saying to you over and over again, I don't have a theory ready for this, but something in the back of my mind is twigging, which usually means that my subconscious level mind has picked on something that my conscious mind isn't paying attention to. And I kept seeing, why do I want to talk about the lost people with Momo? And why do I feel like Momo is some sort of a key between him and people who are being hidden or protected? Okay, I can think of one reason, no, 2. I can think
Yep.
of a couple of reasons that I feel that way. Like, first of all, when they are so willing, all of the minks, to hide somebody who was actually freaking there, that they took that sacred friendship and their bond to such a level that they all were willing to literally die and lose their families. Just so you know, I've been in the meantime, while there was an ad break, I went into geometric designs and symbols of unity and infinity
Uh-huh.
because I was looking at the 8 circle, the big one in the middle, and there's so many things that it means. So unity and wholeness, infinity and continuity. God, there's a whole bunch of things here. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to play with that. So Dude comes back to attack our people, and what do I think about Jack? What do I think about him? I think
Jack the Drought is here with the steel chair.
Oh, you are not wrong, my friend.
He feels very wrestling heel to me.
And then when we find out that Jack comes back, and the Daimyo Kuriwano heir, Kazuki Momonosuke, or as I like to call him, that dumb pouty kid, can
For some
hear
reason, not a fan of Momonosuke.
I just don't like him at all. When we find out that he has the ability to talk to Zoe, then I went back and thought about our girl up on Skypea.
Okay.
And then I went back, and then you were saying, don't forget our original pirate crew member. When we found out that Asia and Momo
Asa.
and Kobe are all able to hear voices. Luffy is able to hear but not talk to, which he made very clear. I can hear it, it's not responding to my questions, and he points out to Momo that he'll have to talk. Same with when he could hear the voices of the big giant fish. Did we have confirmation though that does Kobe have the ability to hear things like legendary creatures?
We don't know. We also don't know with Asa. We just know they could both hear the voices of those around them and emotions, the suffering of those around them.
And did we have anyone confirm if they could hear? Because I don't remember anyone who could hear Nora.
I don't remember that, but it could be. Does anyone remember someone hearing Nora?
Because I don't remember hearing anybody who could hear Nora. So if no one heard her, which is sad, so sorry, poor little girl, poor little Nola. If no one could hear Nola, they should be a legendary creature, but they don't appear to be a legendary creature in the same way. I'm just wondering if there's a difference between people like Asia and Kobe who can hear voices and they sit in their head, and then people like our scared mermaid who can actually talk to legendary creatures. So I think that because and Momo does mention that he has heard voices before, that this isn't totally like the way that he's heard voices before, but that he has heard voices before. But I still have this kind of feeling that there's this weird connection between him and Zoe, which makes me wonder whether or not he is a necessary key. It's him plus something else plus this elephant, Zoe, that act as a key together. And then I'm trying to think about all the other people. I don't know. Asia has not been brought back into my story, but it started to make me wonder about if I'm going to see Asia again.
Yeah, there's also the voice of all things that is mentioned.
Voice of all things I remember that Rayleigh talked about the voice of all things. So I'm starting to wonder, like, if there's a limitation, if Kobe and Asa are different and they can just hear voices, and then people like our wimpy mermaid and Momo are able to hear the voices of legends and control them, because it appears as if they not only talk, they have some method of control as well. No, I'm going to stand behind that. I think he's a weapon.
Okay, Momo's an ancient weapon. So that would mean the third piece you think is Luffy's Uranus in your mind would be the Pluton, the battleship.
Yeah.
How does a battleship connect to an elephant? Who the fuck knows?
I think it's obvious.
Yeah?
The elephant sticks it on its trunk and then it shoots it out. Battleship launch. No.
Okay, wait a minute though. The elephant being needed to like generate hydropower for the weapon to work actually makes some sense, doesn't it?
Well, we do have the hydropower thing going on, but I don't know. It just feels like they're connected. It really does feel like they're connected. And if the elephant has been carrying around a city on top of itself for all this time, I'm starting to wonder, like, does it carry around the battleship? Does it carry the battleship into things so that it's protected from elements and stealing and such? I don't know. It just feels like there's more there still. You know what I mean? It's so half-baked right now. It's like if you ate this cake, you'd die. You would definitely get salmonella poisoning. You would be like, this cake tastes like death. I hope I get to the hospital in time. But like, I've beat it up and I've stuck it in the oven. I'm still trying to bake in it.
They're all crybabies, but I think they're all crybabies because of their empathy.
Yeah, they're very empathetic, loving, wonderful people. So I think that that's really important, even though you asked it tongue in cheek and even though you were being funny.
No,
I think.
that was genuine.
Oh, okay.
That
I
wasn't
think it.
sarcastic at all.
I think it is really important on such a deep level because you don't want your freaking weapons to end up being these like terrible freaking despots, right? So one of the ways that you have weapons that don't want to, what is the best weapon so that it's used as a weapon, but it is also used with caution and restraint? You give it to people who um who admire and love living and admire and love people.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
So I wasn't at all joking. I think it genuinely is meaningful that all of the people who seem to have this ability are connected by being really emotional, empathetic individuals who care about the feelings of those around them.
Yeah, I know that Momo is the Peach from the
Yeah, he's
story.
a little peach boy,
We've
peach
already
boy,
talked about
peach face,
off
peach boy.
stream. Off stream we talked about how he's met the dog that could be all the minks. He's met the monkey, that's Luffy and the Straw Hats, and that we didn't know where the pheasant was going to be or who or what the pheasant is yet.
Mhm.
Where is my pheasant? I don't think they would make the pheasant a crane.
Well, because that's Momo's clan, so it would be Momo himself, and that's it weird.
Because I think Momo's clan is connected to the minks, so I would just call them dog.
Yeah, in theory, the 3 original admirals were also named after the 3 admirals from Momotaro, but like, let's be honest, he's not going to go recruit Kizaru, Akainu, and Aokiji for so many reasons. So many reasons. So we're probably looking for other monkeys, pheasants, and dog.
Yeah, I agree. I just wouldn't it be amazing though? Wouldn't it be
Bell
amazing?
is the pheasant. Marco as a pheasant makes some sense, I do think.
Yeah, I could take a phoenix as a pheasant. Okay, that's right. Okay, so this is so much revealing. Oops, picture. I'm going to read this out loud.
Okay.
What do you mean you don't mind trying to act all bossy again? It cannot be helped being bossy, you crude lout. I am important. See, it's easy to hate Momo. It's not like I am making this shit up. For generations, the Kazuki clan of Wano has been a... Wano is going to be wild, by the way.
Yeah, you think
Like,
so?
Wano? I wonder if Wano is going to end up being one of those ones that I'm going to have to tell everyone in my family, you got to leave me the hell alone for a minute and just let me sink in.
Dude, Wano is 140-ish chapters, I'm pretty sure.
Oh!
Wano's 4 videos minimum.
That's a lot. Damn.
Yeah.
For generations, the Kazuki clan of Wano has been a line of stonemasons cutting and carving stone. Even now, their skill with rock is unparalleled. Stonemasons? Oh, come on. Dude is making like it's so bizarre because I feel like he's wrapping stonemasons up with Freemasons, that they are the keeper of secrets.
Oh, that's kind of fun. If that's why they're linked to the poneglyphs, is because the stone mace. Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Like 100% he's calling them like the power behind the power that knows the secrets.
That's kind of funny. I never thought about that.
We got some secrets with the Wano people.
Someone keeps mentioning oh my god, actually I was going to write this off, but someone keeps mentioning the thing that you told me about of Momotaro being used to be propaganda to inspire people to fight the Americans, and I was like, yeah, whatever. We noticed that, but you and I talked about how we think we're not mentioning this in detail until we reach the point of being caught up and we do our One Piece's political video. But you and I both kind of felt like the Navy in One Piece, not the world government, but the Navy kind of represents the United States. So there might be something to that.
100% there might be something to it. I was thinking about that too, because after you and I were talking about it, and we said, oh, that's kind of like the Navy is the Americans. And then who would be the representation of the government? Have we decided? And then I was like, that's a question that you and I didn't do enough looking into. I just want to
You
put
can
out
say the world government would be Europe. Our leaning at the moment is that the world government, more than Europe, represents the global wealthy. Global wealth is kind of what we were imagining for the world government. We need to do some more research and figure things out, but we feel like there's a lot of little bits of evidence you can use for the U.S. being represented by the Navy, especially in the fact that like they are in a lot of ways a force for peace, but they are a force for peace in this very hegemonic and controlling way. It's curious, especially I feel like a lot of eras of recent US you could look at through Sengoku, who is a man literally named Enlightened Civil War. That's crazy. His name is Civil War the Enlightened. That's his that's fucking wild. He's a soldier for peace named Civil War. It feels very American when we go into the One Piece's political video, because this is something we want to do more research about. But we also did observe that in the Punk Hazard stream, for anybody who was there, we talked about how the two forces who were fighting for control over the Marines are a lazy, somewhat faith in the system kind of do nothing guy represented by Blue, powerful but laid back and not active, and an over the top aggressive reactionary force represented in Red. And I actually think there's something to that. Guys, I don't actually think it is a spoiler to say the kanji for Kozuki, provided it's already been spelled out. If Kozuki's been spelled out in Japanese, we are agreeing that we're giving Mamadrock information that a Japanese reader would have.
Hell yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, if a Japanese reader would have access to it, it is okay to give Mama the information. IMO.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about Kozuki spelled out, because I haven't heard anything.
They are. Oh, it hasn't been spelled in kanji. Then we can. Okay, no, Light and Moon. I think that's not a big spoiler. I think that's fine.
Are you shitting my face? Light and Moon?
Yeah, Light and Moon.
Are you? So Sun and Moon.
It's a little guy. Can anyone see this little guy? He's so cute.
Yeah, I see what you're doing right now. So that's going in my list of things to do after I get a cape today.
They're already, I think their crest to me, the second I saw it, did look a bit like a sun and a moon and a bird, because it has the dots around it, kind of like how sun rays have been depicted by some cultures. And then it also has the wings of the bird in the shape of a crescent moon.
I have so many things to think about, for instance.
Japan is the land of the rising sun. That's a true thing about Japan. What's crazy about that is the sun doesn't exist anywhere but Japan, which is why they're called that. Pretty cool, huh?
Blue represents in Japan newness, freshness, youth, and spring, not green.
We're in an ad break. I think this is a good convo for an ad break.
Yeah. So if you say something is very blue in Japan, you're usually saying it's young or youthful.
Yeah, can we actually, Reputator, we should talk about how Jack thought he could leave Zhao and go attack Sengoku, Fujitora, Tsuru, and two vice admirals on the water without backup.
It's wild that the bastard really thought that was a thing that was going to occur.
He was like, yeah, I got this. You're saying the former fleet admiral and admiral, three vice admirals, one of which is a legend. Oh, sorry, no, she's like a staff trainer, a legendary marine, and two vice admirals. I got this. That's for me. That's Jack's job.
If Momo's dad was part of the pirate crew, then of Goldie Roger, then in my opinion, Momo has to be at least a supporter of Luffy.
Okay.
Luffy is going to be king of the pirates. I don't know if you've heard that. Was I the only one was there for that?
Have people said that? Have people said that he's going to be king of the pirates? Who's saying this?
No, it's a rumor.
Jimmy,
okay. You remember when I was talking about how Luffy doesn't encourage but insists that people be a part of an agency and their own saving?
That is a thing you said, yes.
Never, ever in the story yet has it been more proven than the samurais and the minks. That's a lot of power to have at our side. No, don't turn them down. What's wrong with you? Are you insane? Hang on, don't count the answer. I'll get him talking sense. Actually, Luffy has a point. What? We need to negotiate this. Now, honestly, that was very, very her, which almost made me wonder if she was a pheasant, because it said that Momo had to pay grain to the pheasant in order for the pheasant to help him out. But then Luffy says, What are you, Momo? Just a figurehead? Speak up for yourself. Aren't you the guy in charge? Aren't you the commander of all those almighty men? Are you just going to stand there and cry? Knock it off, Luffy. Stop getting mad at an 8-year-old child. No, don't, Luffy. In fact, maybe you should get madder.
Luffy, get mad at this 8-year-old child. Do it. Scream at him.
Being an heir means that he doesn't need to be in charge until he has come of age. Let the adults around him offer guidance. That's right. Come here, Momo. I'm sorry, but I must quibble with your methods here. And then he says, gaze out upon it. That is the world, Momosuke. We are surrounded. Light the fires. And then he realizes, and he does the exact Robin thing. I want to defeat Kaido. So it's amazing that this moment happened. I love the way it happened. I love that Luffy made him hold himself accountable and be part of it. But it really felt like I was like, never in the history of ever has my point been proven more. And so from now until the end of time, it's important to remember that even though Luffy seems like he's this rambunctious, chaotic figure all the time, he does have a very staunch moral compass and code. He has a line. He has boundaries. He's thoughtful. More and more every day, I think he's much, much smarter than I give him credit for. He's more like a shamil. So there's a Yiddish term, shamil.
Okay.
Kind of like a person who's going to knock things over and
I just never know where you're going to go sometimes when you start a sentence. Let's keep it up. Let's roll.
Just like a person who's going to knock things over and spill soup. And then there's a shemazel. There's an old joke. A shamil is a person who spills soup, and a shemazel is the person the soup will always be spilt on. And so when you're looking at, even though he's a shamil and he does schmucky things, on the other hand, he also is an intelligent person. But I think that he kind of represents almost like that ADD intelligence, that you don't see the slow thinking and the processing and the doing and the pondering. And he wouldn't sit there and look at the bird thing on the back and be like, oh, let me break this down. He would just be like, move instinctively through this moment. But when you stop and you see him say things all the time to people like, are you going to be a part of this? Are you going to fight? Are you going to ask me questions? Are you going to make decisions? Are you going to step into this role? Or am I going to help you clear space and then you're going to put your fat ass in the seat without ever having earned it? And for Luffy, that isn't a possibility. So more and more every day, I see Luffy as more and more intelligent. It's just that he works with a kind of intelligence that we don't always see. He's bodily kinesthetic. He's definitely in the world kind of like an ADD kid. But he gains information or he gains intelligence and ideas through movement and action. So it's like he's thinking while moving.
I've seen a lot of people say Luffy can't be One Piece isn't political because Luffy doesn't have political values. He so clearly does. He believes that he can't make a deal with another leader if they aren't actually a leader because he doesn't respect it. He needs someone to lead. He needs someone to actually be in charge, to respect them as a leader. Like, it's so cool that Luffy carries his values forth even when, like, it doesn't matter really. Like, he should just take the alliance. They're right. It's the right thing to do. But he's like, no, I don't respect a bunch of people telling me they're doing this under the guidance of or for a leader who isn't actually leading, who isn't part of this decision, who is having everything done for him. If I am going to make this deal, I want the person who's ostensibly in charge of the other faction to be the one making the deal with me.
Agreed. And so that's what I was trying to say. Like, early on, somebody said, like way back in the middle of the beginning where I didn't know that I shouldn't read any of the comments. It was like in video 2 or 3 or something. And then I was like, run away. The dude said that he was mad at me for saying that Luffy was dumb. Mm-hmm. Now, Luffy was dumb at the time. He was like 8 years old and he stabbed himself in the face with it was early times. Stabbed himself in the face with a knife. I'm still going to tell you, dumb. But I think that we're watching a maturing Luffy. He's always had values and he's always had political ideals. But I think that as he's moving through the world, those are building and we're watching a richness come into his thinking. And we're watching his ideals get shown in everything he does. So Luffy is a dumbass. I think he's a smart dumbass.
He absolutely is a smart dumbass. He's
Yeah.
Yeah. I also someone said briefly that like One Piece is political, but it's not written politically in the way of other things these days. And I saw someone have a very smart reply, which is it is written these days, but I think it's also just it's genuinely hard to write at this level. Like everything One Piece writes, whether it's politics, character arcs, themes, allusions to other works of fiction, allusions to religion, it's so hard to write at this caliber. Like it is in a league of its own in most ways that it's written. There's so few ways of writing that I think One Piece isn't well above par.
Yeah.
It's doing them all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it's a
that's
brilliant.
remarkable. Most series are lucky to write this well at one of these things.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
It's
God, he's so good at this story. He's so good at writing.
Fucking well done. Like,
The only other thing that I was thinking I might wanted you to do actually is this one. I would have wanted the perspective a little bit different, and I think it was a miss because I want to see the whole thing. It's an alliance. I'll take down Kaido. Luffy keeps saying shit like that. Like he keeps saying big ass shit that you're like, oh, that's not gonna go well. Am I gonna have to watch Luffy die again? I don't know if I can watch.
You haven't seen Luffy die yet.
Okay. Do you think that he looked the alive after the crocodile?
Yeah, he didn't die.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that kind of a death. That kind of a almost death.
I mean, but that is what it feels like, right? Because Oda's so good at hype, and when we were going up against a warlord for the first time, it felt larger than life. He's hyped it up so much. Emperors feel bigger than that now, don't they? Like, this feels bigger than Crocodile did then.
Yeah, and Magellan, and with him in the room. Like, we see Luffy almost dead.
And got so close with Magellan.
It takes a lot out of my spirit to watch Luffy be on the edge of death. So, or Luffy at what's it effing called? Marineford.
Yep.
Yes.
Isn't it crazy how threatening and big he manages to make the emperors feel, though?
Yeah, you keep saying that, and I don't think you know what that means. Whenever you keep saying that, I'm like, the emperors are going to be so much bigger even. It is true. The hype is real. He keeps building the emperors over and over again.
I swear, I'm just talking about where we're at right now. Like, when I was reading this week to week, like, because I was reading this week to week, I have such strong memories of being like, holy fuck, we're actually taking on emperors. They feel impossibly big. They feel big beyond life.
I think then Luffy, the first time he's going to call on his armada, and at me if you want, but I'm calling it an armada, will be in when he goes to take on Kaido.
Okay. I want to say, in the note of event predictions, you get a Shroom Star today.
Oh, what is it?
Hear me out, chat. I think a Shroom Star is fair for this one. Mama a long time ago said that she thought the secrets in the Void Century would be the One Piece. However, in this arc, we are told that Raftel will have the secret to the Void Century, and that's not the One Piece.
Okay, say that again.
In this section, we're basically told, like, the Minks just outright say, like, they're like, yeah, the poneglyphs with the secrets of the world, the secrets of history, are on Raftel. Just they happen to be there, and that's not what the big treasure is. Like, that's pretty well said here.
Oh, yeah. I would agree, a Shroom Star. I would also say
because it is there.
Okay.
Narwhals gave us a segue into my observation. Should we get into that?
Can I just say before? Thank you, Narwhal. Yeah. Can I just say that I'm really glad they're not together, because it allows us to find out the secrets and play in a world where secrets can be revealed and used, and information is everything. Information is the greatest weapon you can have. And how do you use that information for your own power and for your own win? And so I love that we're getting to find out the secrets of the Void Century first, because that's going to change everything about the way it goes. And then, okay, if information is power, it also means who is going to find out about the secrets of the Void Century, and how are they going to manipulate people and use that? Because it'll definitely be some wild ass prediction or wild ass manipulation.
So this is the observation I had is very quick, which is just the other day I called Mama Drock out of nowhere to be like, yeah, I need to tell you this. I had a realization when I was doing timestamps for the Blackbeard video. Oda said he hated stories where the treasure was the friends he made along the way. And I was listening to the Blackbeard audio and how we observed that we felt like Luffy treated his crew like treasure and Blackbeard treats them just as a resource. They are a resource to Luffy, but that's not what they mean to him. That's just a truth about them. So my observation is Oda has written a story that still has the heart of a story that says the treasure is the friends you made along the way, because this is going to be a story where to get the treasure, you need to be the kind of person where the friends you made along the way matter more than the treasure. And we have proof that is the case with Luffy, because he gives up on his dream when he thinks he loses his crew. He breaks
100%.
apart. That's what mattered more.
100%. But also, that's the same thing with the weaponry then. The people and the thing being weapons, that you wouldn't give all of that power of these ancient weapons to people who wouldn't see the friends you made along the way as being more important than the end treasure.
Yeah, you have to see these things as more important than power, which is Blackbeard's failing, that he wants power for power's sake, whereas Luffy always wants power to do good for his crew. He wants power. He constantly talks about wanting strength and power, but it's always to protect people.
He did cheat though, then. Oda cheated because he said, it's not the friends you make along the way. And then he was like, but you know what? It's really the friends you make along the way.
Well, no. I think he's done something smarter than cheating, which is the treasure's not the friends you made along the way, but you don't get the treasure unless you make the friends along the way.
Well, Luffy couldn't actually get the treasure. He couldn't have even gotten as far as he did without the friends he made along the way.
Exactly. The treasure's because of the friends you made along the way, not the friends themselves. So it teaches the same lesson without being as shitty and underwhelming.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's great.
Now I feel bad. I turned my chapter and I see this Momo duck. I am unworthy of such help. I am unworthy. God damn it. Don't try to win me over yet, Momo. You need to do more than that.
He's trying. He's going to try. He's not there yet. He's trying. In order to get the treasure, you must first have the treasure. Yeah, it's like a first job.
Oh. When Jack, this Jack here, I'm not a big fan of this Jack. But I do think that he's a good bad guy. When Momo finally realizes that he can talk to the goddamn elephant, which PS takes a long time.
It takes a bit.
Like, so many panels. How do you not just know? Luffy immediately tries. Luffy is like, let me try. What are you? Who are you? And nothing. And then instead, Momo's just like, the voices. Oh, Jesus God. You know Luffy can hear it too, so you're not alone. Shut up. I say. Then in real life, I start hearing voices in my head, and I'm like, sweet God! And then
comparing someone to Luffy for their ability to handle a crisis isn't exactly fair.
Luffy has seen some shit. I'm not gonna
Luffy's got a high bar on ability to handle shit being bad.
But I love that when we hear the voices and he finally does the thing and we realize Zoe is like, dude has been stopped from doing something in the past because he's done something bad. We don't know what this thing is. And they're like, what did they say about him? It's Jack. Jack is the attack. We realize the Momo can also see through the eyes of the elephant.
Which is cool as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
If that is just a form of observation hockey, it's a form we've never seen before.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen it as observation hockey, but we have seen it as a devil fruit. So I kind of love that he stole a little bit of that devil fruit powers and wrapped it into hockey, and it also makes you be like, what else can hockey do? The answer is any goddamn thing that Oda wants. P.S. In case you're curious,
you can decide.
You could just be like, nope, this is what we're doing now. And so when he realizes he can talk to Zoe, and we find this out a long time ago, the elephant committed a crime, and ever since, it's only been allowed to walk. It must continue following its orders, and therefore, I just need permission just this once. Give me the order to fight. Now, here's the thing I didn't ask the first time I read it. Didn't ask whose side did the elephant commit the atrocity for?
That is such a question. And holy fuck, yep.
Okay. So who did Zoe the atrocity to?
That's a great
The-
question. My theory is definitely Zoe either atrocitied for Joy Boy's sake and went farther than Joy Boy wanted, and Joy Boy was like, hey, fuck off. I've always associated Joy Boy and the Ancient Kingdom. I treat them as one and the same. That's why I'm saying Joy Boy. But
I'll allow that.
yeah, Ancient Kingdom, Joy Boy, same diff. That was my assumption, right?
Yep.
Was like, did
Yes.
something for Joy Boy or the Ancient Kingdom that they didn't like, went too far, and they were like, hey, that's not cool. Or my assumption number B is committed an atrocity against the world government founders. They won. They managed to sentence him, and they gave him this instruction because, like you said, they didn't want to kill him because he was needed for something. Those are my two thoughts.
I'm trying to square it right now and think to myself, like, okay, if this happened this amount of time ago and he was being punished, would Joy Boy have locked him into this punishment for all these years after? Would he still be roaming the earth, and yet none of the dragons or anyone else would have tried to take him?
Maybe the punishment was to keep him safe so that they couldn't find him, as much as it was also like he's hard to find, and to keep him alive so he is around for the next person as well. Who knows?
Was my next wondering, is he tied into a thing that, but on the other hand, look how easy it was for Jack to find him.
He's tough.
That's a tough one. But yeah, I like your theory. I like it a lot. You want to? No, I
Yeah.
like this theory a lot. Whoa, you turned my puppy almost into a human. He looks kind of like a sad devil man now.
He's a little guy.
I don't know about that. Sad devil boy. Let's all take a second
Yeah.
to enjoy these out deciding to kick some ass. All right. Once upon a time, there was an elephant. Ladies and gentlemen, it was large enough to have a city on its back. And finally, Momo said, hey, go ahead, even though I'm stupid and I finally figured it out. Don't give up, Zoe. Don't collapse. Drive Jack away. Understood, said him. And then he stood many a kilometer or two above the boats and took his giant ass trunk and the boom. But we got to see the eye of Jack in two different poses first, realizing that the trunk had lifted and he was about to be demolished. And was it joyful? You betcha. And when they went under and sunk to the bottom of the sea, he just continued to walk. Although I'm not going to lie, the owie on his leg looked pretty bad. And then he sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Hey, Jack, enjoy ocean. And that's the end of that scene. I reenacted it for you. You're all welcome.
Yeah, this has got to be the quickest an arc villain is defeated, huh?
That was like that's exactly what I was thinking. He was like, we're fighting you. We're hurting your leg. Thank you for the clap. I actually super appreciate that. I loved it. It was great. I just was like, oh my god, huge whoosh. I'm like, we're about to have a big battle. Uh-oh, he's gonna hurt you. I don't think I understood how big you were until just this moment. And then up comes his trunk. The ocean changes to tsunami. The damage is radical. And we sinks to the ocean floor. Boom. It was amazing. It was amazingly quick. There's like no debris, no evidence. Everyone's down. I loved it. Because you know why it was so big? Like, I think
Yeah.
it's really important to mention that what Oda is doing here is he's setting up a monstrous power inside of Zoe. The same
Yeah.
way that we said that over the time he's building up a monstrous power inside of the Emperors because we're trying to understand just how freaking powerful the Emperor's in. Okay, billion berry boy, enjoy ocean floor. How long does it take? Let me think.
Oh,
A second.
like there is no amount of hype you can have for Kaido and Big Mom at this point where you don't just think that if we that like Zhao could probably kill him.
He could just like literally Big Mom would be like, you are all in trouble. And then Zhao would be like, just a minute. I've decided to walk in this direction because I've been unleashed from my curse. And now all your asses are grasses.
I love to imagine that like how are we gonna kill Kaido? Momo's like, I have a great idea. Zao, we're going for a walk. And Kaido's just on Wano, like, I'm not coming out. Zo's just waiting outside to get Wano swinging its trunk. And they're like, no, come out and fight us. And Kaido's just like, I'm gonna stay in here.
You went invisible.
Oh, I'm gone?
Oh, there you are. Yeah,
I'm back.
exactly. And also, like, if you're allowed to untether Zhao from whatever it is he's tethered to, and he can just go places now, that is an ancient weapon.
Yeah, like Momo just like, hey Zao, hear me out. There's a guy I don't like.
Also, why don't you just blow his eardrums apart? Put the end of Zhao's trunk right up to the building. Done.
Or
Here,
better not
YouTube.
be- Hi there.
You know me. It's
What's
Mama
up?
Drop.
Who are you?
I want to tell you a secret.
Uh-huh.
I'm a mama
Okay, the information has been gathered. I understand this part.
of Drop.
Uh-huh.
That's why they call me Mama Drop.
That's wild. That's a crazy reason for a name.
Just when you thought things didn't match up, your life has meaning. So let me guide you through something here.
Mhm.
You've been watching this show now for a long time, and you've been thinking to yourself, yeah, this is decent. And
yeah.
Deece is
Yeah.
worth a like. You don't
It
have
is.
to like something.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to marry it. That's okay. You don't have to want to listen to it every day. But if you think it's decent, click the like. I mean, what the hell, man? You don't have to want to go outside with a blowhorn and blowhorn its greatness to want to press the like button. And you know what pressing a like button costs? Let me click. Here you go. Just come in closer. Nothing. It costs nothing.
That's
And
crazy.
what does it do for us? It lets us pay the editors. That's what
It does let us pay the editors, probably. It probably helps with that.
So all you got to do is press the like button. And you know what? If you subscribe, you don't have to watch us. Just subscribe. What does it cost? You don't have to watch.
I actually think it's really bad for your statistics if your subscribers don't watch your videos. I think that actually really hurts you in the algorithm.
Look, I'm going to take you aside for a minute.
Yeah?
Nobody's going to subscribe and then see our videos come up and be like, I don't want to give that another try.
That's
and then,
actually so true.
And then watch it again and be like, you know what? Actually, that's actually good. They grew on me like mold. You don't have to watch us. Just subscribe. Press the little bell. It'll tell you we're coming out. And then you'll be like, oh, I see you. Yeah, I'll try again. And here's another thing.
Uh-huh.
One last thing.
Yep.
You obviously liked it enough to do that. You're still here listening to me prattle on about insane crap.
All right. Hey, do you want to get to our closing segments?
Yeah, I'm not there.
Okay, what are we doing first?
I just have a little thing I want to talk about.
Okay. Is it bees?
Bees?
Yeah.
Is that the thing that you thought that I wanted to talk about when I said I wanted to talk about a thing? Bees?
Nope. I just thought it'd be funny to guess.
First of all, I'm glad that Chopper worked everyone into saving Zhao. He deserved to have his leg wrapped. I love Nami's new stick. Kind of a weird phallic moment that occurred. I'm not going to talk about because everyone gets on my case, even though I wasn't wrong about erectile dysfunction. I just was right.
Lao G was so many dick jokes, it turns out, and I'd never noticed.
Always trying to find the G. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he was so many dick jokes, it turns out.
Love Nami's new weapon for her weather weapon, but I also really like that she's perfected the Mirage tempo. I think we're going to have a really great moment of Nami sneaking in and doing something now because of the Mirage tempo, and I'm kind of here for it.
I mean, between Sanji, Brook, and Nami, a lot of the stealth straw hats are going to Whole Cake Island.
So that was what I was going to say to you. The thing that I wanted to talk about before we did our closing segments we didn't talk about the fact that frickin' Sanji is a prince of the underworld.
Yeah, we didn't. You're right. Prince of the underworld and fucked off.
And just gone. Well, he kind of had to go. If we're going to be honest, like that dude had to go. Like, what was he going to do? Not go? So, wowzer. And I met his sister and one of his brothers, and I saw another brother doing some shit. But I was gobsmacked, or smacked, or both by the whole freaking reveal of Sanji being an underworld dude. And yet for some reason it hit me twice as hard when I saw the giant ass snail.
Yeah.
When I saw the giant ass snail ship. I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable! How can a moshi be that big?" And I was just and then I was like, "What you should be more surprised by is Sanji." And then my brain was like, "That's gonna be doled out in pieces and bits. So get over that. But look at this giant ass snail." And then I thought to myself, "Self, that's not possible." Oda made a mistake because that snail is in salt water, and I don't know if you've ever had your grandmother put salt on a slug and snail, but it is not a nice thing to see. And that snail would be a bad thing. But here's what I was going to tell you all during the break that I didn't tell you. And now it comes full circle.
Yeah.
There is a thing in this animal world that people hate, and I hate that people hate it. It makes me very angry.
Okay.
And that is seagulls. And people hate seagulls. And I'm not going to tell you all the great things about seagulls in one day. No, no, no. Nay, nay, nay. I'm going to parse them out. And the
Okay.
first thing is seagulls can take salt water and in their own freaking body turn it to pure potable drinking water and relieve themselves of the salt.
What about, okay, so here's my thinking, right, about how the snails survive, and it's not seagulls, it's sea snails.
No, I don't like that. So I've decided that it's cooler, that they are parsing salt and water and separating it within their systems like cool seagulls. Seagulls shit on your head. If you lived in Italy, they would tell you you just got the greatest, bestest, amazingest luck. You want birds to shit on you. So what it did is anoint you. So deal with your anointment. Anyways, I'm loving the giant snail, a boat snail thing. I'm here for it. Okay. The other thing is we got to see Vivi and she is on the way to the damn reverie. Oh, we are going to blow some bitches up at the reverie. When the straw hats come to the reverie, we will take over and there will be dishevery. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
The world wait for that shit. I'm so stoked.
Are we ready for our closing segments yet, or is there more that we must discuss?
I am ready for my closing set. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. Mayor, but I just need to make sure that we have gotten to a point I feel comfortable leaving it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We can leave that. I'm okay with it. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I feel pretty bad for Captain Kid.
Pourquoi?
What? Kaido.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what are you gonna do?
I feel pretty bad about Captain Kid. I feel like he's gone through some shit now. I feel pretty bad. And you know me, I put him low down on my chart.
Remember when we hear the kid attack civilians, people pointed this out when I've said it, we do have to take everything we hear about pirates with a grain of salt, because what we've been told about Luffy is very, very different.
Okay, I'm ready to do my closing segments.
All right.
My segments.
Least favorite character.
Move in close, Mr. Mayor, so I can get my whole face in here. Here we go. Jack, I hate him.
Jack the Drought. A drought of W's this arc.
It's a little hard because if we're talking about least favorite for this and that or that and that, I'm sorry, he cut off Garfield's paw. He took a dog's leg. You're dead to me, bitch. Like, come on.
Next up, Luffy's tier list of Luffy in Luffland.
A.
That's fair. You know, he had a good speech. What else did he do?
Not a lot.
He like headbutted a sheep man. He just didn't do that much.
No. His biggest moment, if we're going to be honest, is saying no and then guiding Momo to be a better Momo.
Yeah, that was the best moment for sure. Next up, top 5 characters. We doing it. We in it. We here.
I am going to start with number 2.
Okay.
Ah, shit, it is. It's Carrot.
Holy fuck.
It just is. Everyone was making bunny things, and I was like, it's not Carrot, you guys. She's just blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, God damn it. It is. It's Carrot.
Damn, good job, Carrot.
I love Carrot. Love her powers. Love her energy. Love that she just decided to jump on down and become part of the ship world. Love her look. Her fluffy tail's adorable. And I think she'd let me pet it.
Okay.
Okay. Can I do my special mention first?
Sure.
Special mention, Drawn Dragon.
Please, Ryunosuke!
Ryunosuke!
I love you, buddy!
You're a true hero!
Ryunosuke, rest in peace. Best minor character. I forgot we had added that. Ryunosuke will be missed. I just slapped my tattoo by accident. It hurts real bad.
He is my best minor character. I love that kid so much. Okay.
Okay.
Number, I'm not going to use 5. I'm going to go for 4.
Damn,
Number
okay.
Number 4. So we got a bunny in 2. The next person I really loved in this was, yeah, he was really cool. He didn't do a lot, but we saw him. And as far as enjoyment, like I loved a Sanji moment. Like, did he look fly? For sure. Was he very cool? For sure. But I don't think he's all the way up at a number 4, which means that the person who I think was the most interesting. Oh, you know what? Shout out to Chopper as a number 5.
Okay.
He fixed the elephant. He came up with the ideas for that. He was one running around and rapping everybody out. And I'm going to tell you, Chopper doesn't make my list very often, and he deserves a little tip of the hat. I got 2 tips of the hat. He gets 1.
Sounds good. I like it. I like it. Chopper mentioned, let's go. Chopper worked hard. Chopper made it. The fan base is cheering for Chopper.
Number 2 is my main man, the Viper Cat, along with my big hero, the Dog King. I'm going to put not number 2, but number 3 for both of them as a partnership. Obviously, they're a partnership. They have a 50-50 day and night. Come on now.
No, they have to be paired together. This is the most obvious it has literally ever been that 2 characters get paired.
So number 4 is
Jesus,
Brooke. Brooke in it.
Oh, yeah.
Brooke in it hard. Also, Brooke is the butt of every single joke in this entire goddamn thing.
The people wanting to eat him joke is great. All the dog minks eating him, great joke.
I'm kind of with it all the way. He is a spectacular snack. Here's a sad thing for me. Like, I honestly kind of want to make number 1 all of the minks for holding out and keeping dudes safe.
Yeah, that's you can't do that.
But as a society drop.
We can't do.
As
We
a
can't.
society.
We can't have a society fit on the podium. I'm sorry, they can't stand there together.
They lost their family.
They did so good. I'm so proud of them. They don't get to share a number 1 spot.
He hates me. Oh, I can say Zhao, or I'm gonna make it Zhao as
There
number
you go.
1.
You did
He
it.
holds society.
Big podium, big
He
podium.
deserves it.
Number 1
Yeah.
should be Nami's dress. What if we start a best outfit of the arc section?
Holy shit! I
But
want
then you have to debate Nami's dress versus Sanji's cool leather jacket.
No, I want 2 spots this time.
Okay,
Not
fine. Yeah.
Jacket. Sanji
Drip of
is
the arc
hot
for
AF
sure.
in this. The pants, the boots, the glasses, the jacket, everything. And then Nami, fire, full fire. That chick walks out and everyone is like, the cape, thank you. She walks out and everyone is like, what the hell just happened to my brain? It melted. Is that my brain coming out of my ears?
Oh, best male outfit and best female outfit is actually a good way to split it up to get 2. I think that's good.
Can I just say that sometimes I'm gonna do 2 dudes and sometimes I'm gonna do 2 chicks?
You know what? Fine. You can do 2. You get 2 per arc. Two drips per arc.
All right.
Are we done? Are we ready to say goodbye?
We are so done.
Everybody, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Do you want to say your goodbye?
Squish on, squishies.
Everybody, until next time, it's been lovely talking to you.
An effervescing elephant with tiny eyes and great big trunk once whispered to the tiny ear, the ear of one inferior, that by next June he'd die. Oh yeah, because the tiger would roam. The little one said, oh my goodness, I must stay at home. And every time I hear a growl, I'll know the tiger's on the prowl, and I'll be really safe, you know. The elephant, he told me so. Everyone was nervy, oh yeah, and a message was spread to zebra, mongoose, and the dirty hippopotamus, who wallowed in the mud and chewed his spicy hippoplankton food and tended to ignore the word, referring to survey a herd of stupid water bison. Oh yeah, and all the jungle took fright and ran around for all the day and the night, but all in vain, because you see the tiger came and said, who, me? You know, I wouldn't hurt not one of you. I much prefer something to chew, and you're all too scant. Oh yeah, he ate the elephant.